Paul, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine. Are you satisfied with your video layout?
Give me 1 second. And yes, I am.
Have you located and are you able to see the timer?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready to be introduced?
I am ready.
Paul Arafage. Paul, why are you so weird? Paul, why are you so weird? Paul Arafage.
There wasn't a dry eye in the room. I was attending a funeral for my friend's partner who had passed away. It was so sad in that room. There was so much grief, so many tears. My friend turned to me and he said, "Paul, thank you for coming." I looked back at him and I said, "I'm happy to be here." Go! Fellow Toastmasters, honored guest, and contest chair. Every single day I ask myself the same question. Paul, why are you so weird? Small talk, conversation, pleasantries, all of this chit-chat, I just don't get it. It's all so foreign to me. I wish there was a class at school that taught about this. Every time I was in a social situation, my approach was the same. I made sure to look down at the floor, avoid eye contact, and if anyone asks me a question, I would give them a one-word response. And this worked great all the way until you see, I went to college to study computer science and computer engineering. Can you guess why? Because talking to computers is so much easier to talking to a human being. All you have to do is issue a command, and then the computer will give you a response. That's it. None of this emotion, small talk, or formalities. I'm sure you've heard of ChatGPT. He's my distant cousin. But then all of this ended when I met Jason. Jason was going to be my roommate. I know, I felt sorry for him too. Jason was an extrovert. He loved to talk and tell me stories about his hometown and where he came from. I was an introvert. I didn't. But the problem with Jason is he would not let this one-word response thing slide. He asked me questions. He wanted to know all about me, and he demanded long-winded, flowery answers. It was really hard for me. And Jason was one of those people who was quick to point out all of my flaws. "Paul, you blink too much when you try to make eye contact. Your mouth is contorted and twisted when you try to speak. You say hi like an alien. Paul, why are you so weird?" And I know what you're thinking. I shouldn't have been friends with Jason. But soon, Jason introduced me to his friends, and all of a sudden I found myself with my own group of friends. This is something I've never had before. And having conversation was very difficult, but I decided to take the same approach I take to computer programming. I programmed myself to have conversation. So if somebody asked me, "Paul, how are you?" I programmed myself to say, "I'm fine, how are you?" If someone said, "Paul, my dog passed away," I programmed myself to say, "I am so sorry to hear that." And this was working. Soon, having conversation became natural. It almost became pleasant. I remember this one night. I was at a park with my friends. We were just eating pizza. And I remember the sky was so clear. I looked up at the stars, and I was able to reflect on all of the progress that I made. I was thinking how awesome it was that I had trained myself to connect with other people using just my words. And so eventually I started to help out around the college campus. And then I was volunteered to help out at an event for alumni from this college. It was my job to talk to everybody there and make sure that they're having conversation. make sure that other people are talking to each other? That's crazy. And to make matters worse, this event was going to be on a boat. What am I supposed to do if I don't want to be there anymore? It's not like I can just jump off and then swim away. I would be stuck there forever. But there I was on the boat. I was chit-chatting to a group of people on a small area just outside of the boat. And that's when it started to rain. The downpour was heavy. Everybody ran back inside of the boat. Everyone except for one person. You see, there was an older gentleman still out there on the boat, standing around by himself in the pouring rain. I saw people point fingers and whisper to each other, but I looked at him and I said, "Oh, it's just another weirdo." So I went outside to join him, and all of a sudden, everything that I had programmed myself to do kicked into full gear in that one conversation. I introduced myself to him. I asked him questions. I learned about his history. He had graduated from that college with a PhD in physics. He had so many inventions and patents to his name. We were talking about quantum computing. I mean, how cool is that? I was so intrigued. It was one of the most fascinating conversations I ever had. And eventually, I told him, "Hey, we've been out here for almost half an hour and it's pouring rain. I'm wet, you're wet. Should we just go back inside?" And he looked at me and he said, "Oh, I had no idea it was raining." And we both went back inside the boat. And what I learned is that when that conversation came to an end, we both got out of our conversation as two different people. Fellow Toastmasters, isn't that what we want when we engage with others? There is something so human and so basic about having conversation. I learned that through small talk and conversation, we have the opportunity for personal growth and learning. If we just take a moment to step outside of our comfort zone and learn about people with different backgrounds and different walks of life, we can gain new insights and expand our knowledge of one another and of the world. Fellow Toastmasters, the next time you have an opportunity to strike up a conversation, just take it. It doesn't matter how weird you think you are. You'll never know where that conversation will take you. Back to you, contest chair.
May we still have 1 minute of silence for the judges to fill out their ballots.
Good job, Paul.
Chief Judge, do any of our judges need more time?
I'll just share we are good to go.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Sue Scrobeck.